Bulvinaka, and welcome to another Family Table Talk every Saturday mornings at 7:30 a.m. Well, last week we were out in Turek in Silva, and today we are all the way down in Brisbane City. As you can see at the background, beautiful lights, still early in the morning here. It's 5:30 in the morning compared to our 7:30 in Fiji. Yes, and this place is beautiful. We are actually on the 70th floor. And sometimes when you come up the lift, your feet can feel it. And even when you go to the edge of the glass, your feet can feel it. I guess when you get old, height is not your friend. And yeah, it's quite beautiful at the background just to see the, the early morning hours out here in Brisbane City. And we've been really, really blessed having this brother and sister early in the morning. At about 5 o'clock, they begin to set up. Emmanuel and Grace Sukani, thank you for that. And yeah, so we are able to grace you with the program of Family Table Talk. Without their arrival this morning, we would be just sleeping in and enjoying the normal Saturday morning like just any other day. So yeah, it's been great.
Bulabinaka all the way from Brisbane, and as you can see, we are right in the heart of the city of Brisbane. Normally it's a capital of Queensland, and that is the state called Queensland. And Queensland is facing Vanuatu, New Caledonia, and also Fiji. So we flew in yesterday about 10 o'clock this time here, midday in Fiji, and we are enjoying the warm day, but beautiful cool night. And as Randini said, we are right at the 70th floor. That's right up. When you come to the edge of the glass, you can feel in your feet that you are really right up there.
Which are getting old and height is getting to your nerves.
And it's a beauty that you can see the creation and the beautiful river. Just digesting the city of Brisbane. Well, it's about 4 hours from Nandi to Brisbane, and about 1 hour 2 hours 20 minutes from here down to Sydney. So we are right in the side of Australia towards the Barrier Reef. So we are saying good morning all the way from Brisbane in Australia. Bulabinaka, to those of you, we can nanti kumain akor. Ni Bulabinaka.
Malabola.
Bula tiwahani.
Bulasia.
And muna da makim da maru tukina auklani total na madhaw ni Sarna World Cup na weekend go.
Yeah, we were in the kitchen for it. Go Fiji.
And au kelani gitu tunggu na New Zealand bataki Namibia weekend matakalila ini singa moliti au kelani tuna nonda tatanda nonda nanu
and our favorite teams
nagai saldi tota katonga na timi and siubina kani kwa ya da ko bina kati ko na soliti ko na ide mani bola ndara ninda ana tarmai don matakabo katini ka ono tuni singa ni bolo september tutolo sa tuna tosa sa september oktober November, December. Everybody voted to in November in the 2023. Nakero wang bulan tugani, weekend na turang na marama dorbo naman elewa, and si wina lupa. So magana waro tu may baling bula, sama wang bulan tugani. So waro tu may bulan ni bibakan doon taki, na boroy korbo, mature kuka, na mo sa mga imba, matalaki na may weekend na waro tu may nasilu, kaya sama wang bulan tugani. So weekend na tugay na motoka, tune in to kumain na audio, kaya mga bulat tugay na siwinani ko. Balta ni doli replay tala na television, na sotal na singa, na sotal na rula. Sa mga bulat tugay, bikam ni gali sarap na mga malua, si bikam ni sarap na Facebook and My TV, si Facebook ni New Mother Disney, so na unang do replay kina. Kaya sa mga bulat tugay, nita ka ni bitaw no taki na so na ulutangan na matakan ising ni tayo na mga kasama weekend. Okay, kaya ng bulan na bising may pagkasaran na iulutangan.
Plan your travel with your family or even on work or business. Flying Fiji Airways, it's beautiful. Being served by our own people, smiling faces, it's beautiful. I would say I've flown in different countries, different airlines, and nothing beats our own people. And it's been a real refreshing just to see the young crew, just innocently providing their customer service to, the simplicity of it all.
Those boys yesterday was good.
Yeah, they were excellent on the flight FJ921 yesterday from Nandi. Binakamakaliw to the crew that served that yesterday. Yeah, it was beautiful. So if you intend or desire to fly, and if you have an option or have to choose the airline, and you have quite a few choices, I would like to recommend support your nation and support Fiji and fly none other than Fiji Airways. It's beautiful. Yeah, on that flight, and even when we get off at the airport, we were talking about it yesterday, because last week we spoke quite a fair bit on HIV and STD, sexually transmitted diseases. And funny, yesterday when we came onto the, immigration. Immigration is a big billboard out there on the wall, the mural, right on the whole wall, and nothing else it says but HIV awareness into the communities. Yeah. And when I look at it yesterday, I actually show you and said, look at that poster or that big banner, and it sort of give the impression that it's not only Fiji, it's all over the world, and that they are trying to deal with it in their own ways, that it's more profile to their country. So we summarized this. Last week we really spoke a lot on what are the issues or what are the things that leads you to do all these things, which we will pick it up again today a little bit before we move on to other topic that we can talk about. Yeah. So vinakamakalimu weekend salistali weekend anangwani year 12 and year 13 your exam is in November, which means you count your weeks and you know how many you have to work with, and not only that, you have your annual exam to be able to do for your school. That is very good because it gives you an early assessment on how ready are you for your external. And with that said, then you need to come in full force. Now there is no rugby, Dean's has finished, and Coke's most of the Coke's finished. A lot of things have finished, the things that usually distract us or distract students from studying.
Now the main thing of the main thing.
Which is why we were all sent to school is education, academically. These are the extracurriculum that comes along the way.
Just assistance
yeah,
along the way.
And so I believe that no one we can say that they're not ready. You still have time. If you say that you have weaknesses on certain subjects, this is the time to fix it. If you know that you never like all these subjects, your friend is English, your enemy is maths, or you don't like physics, you just have to make them all your friends. Because I do that with my grandsons or my grandchildren. I go through the results, and the ones that they really fall on, they just don't like, they don't want to talk about it, and say, you know what, I want to talk about it. Get your books, I want to talk about it. And what I usually do for my children that I would like to share here for my grandchildren every year, and I would like to thank my daughter, thank you Tiari, for the great help, and Tomasi, correct Tamana, for always doing that for me, because I can have a lot of plans, but to actually bring it to to be done, I need hands. And Tomasi has been such a great hand in getting that done for me. So what I do every year, I print 5 years of external exam papers. Say if we are on the 2023, then I move backward. And one thing that really struck me for the printing these papers is that we had COVID. And when you had COVID, those years didn't have the exams. Those years lacked in so many ways. So I have to jump to a few more years that can help give a more substantial document for the children to work with. So whatever year that they're in, like what I said, I have 4. Yeah, I have 3 grandchildren and I have 2 other boys, Joshua's friends. And even his friend that is in QVS or boarding, I will organize his files and get that to his parents to take him and take those papers to his school. What I'm sharing here, like in the beginning of the year, usually I used to do it just before the exam, like for the month, like for the 3rd term. Now, no, I do it from the beginning of the year. So I print the 5 years of exam, and I create little files, like a 2-ring binder, I would call them. And those ring binder, then I will put, if it's English, then it's English for the 5 years. If it's maths, it's maths for the 5 years. If it's physics for the 5 years. Or economics, it's economics for the 5 years. And all those 5 years, I tab them, then I label those 2 ring binders, and I write their names. So they will not be able to tell me or have an excuse, what to study. Because I always, this is what I tell my grandsons. If you pick up your books, where do you start? And how do you study? So to help you go through your past year's papers and try and identify what is the question that move. There's certain questions that take you nearly every year. That question is asked.
Yeah.
Either they change the numbers or they change the way that they ask you, but the concept is still the same. So when you try to understand the papers for the last 5 years, it will give you a good standing on what to expect coming. And most of the time, towards the end of the year, and then I will ask them, okay, I'm looking at your marks. What did you do with the 5 years of papers? Oh, I only did 2 years. Or I did only 3 years. None of them have actually finished the 5 years. And I'm still pushing them. Now, Joshua is in year 13, Carlos in junior. So I said, try and finish that 5 years. Because there's no other time that you'll be looking back and going through your 5 years papers. This is the only time. Give it your best shot, and it's your last year in school. So the same I would tell you if you're in year 13, or if you're in year 12 and you're telling yourself, I'm not coming back for year 13, I'm moving forward after year 12. Well, if that's the case, then do it to your best. Because the marks and the results, you cannot go back and change it, because it speaks for itself. And this is the time that you can do something to make those changes. And I've just been so excited. We had our devotion last 2 days at home. I looked around and I said, one thing that I've noticed for this term, the passion. Before I used to say, okay, I'll come and I look at their study card, it's empty, or 1 or 2, or only one is always sitting there all the time religiously. The others, I will come to their room and say, okay, you have any homework, or do you have anything to study? It's always those reminders. But I've been really, really blessed for this term. Maybe it's just the first week. I don't want to really get my hopes high. But nearly every day, they're passionately, just organizing themselves to sit there and study. And even in the middle of the night, one will come and say, no, after devotion and after dinner, I'm going to lie off a bit, have a bit of rest, and I'll wake up again and I'll study. And sure enough, early in the morning, if I wake up at about 3 o'clock, I see him sitting there on the desk. So, that take is your student that you're listening to us today. Don't give up. I'm saying it's a weak subject. You have your strength. If you know you have your strength, then give your best. Because if you bump up your marks on your best subject, say to 80 or 90 or to 70, whatever marks that you can, push yourself to get on your best subject, then at least your weak subject, no matter how much you struggle to get those marks, you manage to, gain the marks that you lose from your weak subject on the subject that you say it's your strength. Well, that's for you school students. I love talking about school students because I love my grandchildren, and we have a lot of discussions. And every Thursday, we call it a student council, that we sit and talk about anything and everything, from yaki lunches, from nice lunches, from breakfast. And when we have fasting, sometimes I want to shortcut them to cereal, and I'll be asking around, okay, tomorrow, if people can have cereal, or if people have cereal, and then it's like, not like before when you ask, they said yes. But like the yes, Greg to come out. And then I realized, okay, it's fasting, 6 to 6, so I have to provide something heavy and solid to get them through the day before they come back in the evening, 6 o'clock. So those are the talk that you have with your children. And for those of you children that are listening today, you might not be able to get this kind of stuff because you are actually living with relatives, or you are in boarding school, away from home, or in other places that you don't get to hear your parents' voices every day, or even your grandparents' voices. Well, all the best. Your comfort is in God, and trust Him if you're a believer.
I believe that most of the students, they don't have the background that you're sharing. Majority of them, and the way that we are brought up, especially for Itoke, the living extended families. So the comfort of what others are doing, they are not having that. A special room, a special place, for studies. And for those of you that does not fall in the category that what we are sharing, that you stay in a house that has so many people, so many noise, and a lot of songo occasion.
There's no privacy.
There's no privacy. And there's no time. The condition in the house, it's not conducive. It's not appropriate for somebody in struggle. So this is the time that you need to go early to school, because the school will be still empty, or stay up late in school and do your studies.
Why don't you share your experience, because you came from the village and you came and stay with relatives. How do you fix that? Like, how do you work around
for me, I don't study at home because there's no place to study at home. But it's during the class. It's during the class, the recess time, the lunch time, all those things. And also when I could say very attentive in class.
In class, eh?
Yeah, very attentive. Whatever is going on in class, I try to do the best.
Yeah.
The study, I don't know. Yeah. But some students...
Well, you're giving tips to students that are listening in today, like what Gasile was saying. Eh? Like if the condition of the house or the environment that you live in, they cannot support the education system for you to study, to find space all the time. Because as soon as you hit home, that's it. There's always things to be done. And you get sent around to do things.
Yes, and because when you listen in class, everything that the teacher is trying to tell you.
Yeah, I do that too. Yeah.
And also, our teachers in those days too, they are very fond of photocopying for us only 3 years back. So when you master, if you know the question yes here for 3 years, and it really assist you. It really assist you. I mean, in those days.
Well, it's still helping them in these days.
And when you master that 3 exam papers, it'll be good for students that they are struggling in various subjects. To me, it's listening during the
subjects. When the
and
teachers
in those days too, the respect for the teachers were very high. So when the teacher is teaching or
you
talking,
listen.
everybody listen. There's no
smart Alex.
And today we hear a lot of disruption. And
because they have their rights, the children's rights.
And I was speaking to one school a few days ago. Don't allow the environment around you to disturb what you're trying to achieve. That is my concern. Your peer pressure, because you want to be somebody else. You want to be in the groups, and I believe those are some of the very challenges, especially for boys. Especially for boys, when we are in school, we want to be in the group. We want to be macho. We want to be somebody else.
So they become an obstacle to you achieving your best.
Yeah, because you want to be in the group.
Yeah.
One thing that is really, I believe it's been to a few other level. If you are not following the group, that you are counted. We call it bullying. That you are not part of the group. So everybody have to be doing the same thing. So to me, it's a challenge to young people, especially for boys, and I believe also for girls. Try to be focused and while you are in school, and try to make your parents proud of your achievement. This kind of talk, we will try to throw it at you all the time. We do it to our children, we do it to our church youth. We always throw things, challenge to them, that the world out there not to determine your achievement level. You must determine your achievement level. You must focus on what you want to become in future. Because the people around you very soon, they will drop by the road, and you will move on. You will face the world alone. So why focusing on pleasing the people around you when you will face the world alone? And I believe, as I come from the village so many years back, those are the challenge. And sometimes you got no choice, and the pressure is so much on you, especially when you are living with extended family. You have no say in what you do. You have no say in where to sleep and what to eat.
And what to do.
So it's a challenge, and if we can survive at that time, I believe we can survive.
Rise above it. There's always a way of
always a way. There's always a door. Always a door. There's always a solution. To every problem.
I always share with my grandsons, like, if that's the best that you have done or you can do, fine, I'm happy with it. So whatever that you do, just make sure that you do your best. And if that is your best, and if you know you can still do better, is where we are coming from. Like for you to try and do a little bit more. And there's another thing that I've heard, on how they group themselves. So like you find a few friends and you study together, or you do things together, you rub off what you don't know, you learn from each other.
That's why it's very important. That's why it's very important of the friends that you keep. Because when you have friends that are positive about education school, they will go into those
into kind of grouping. So really depends your choice in school. A lot depends on you. Your parents can tell you a lot of things, or we can come with a lot of counseling. Nearly every day we will be telling you how to do things. We can write it down for you. We can even get you to record it on your phone so you can be reminded. But at the end of the day, it's you, and you make that choice. So try and find it in your heart to make the right choice.
Because I was sharing with the school that I spoke with, most of them, that most of my friends, they can't make it.
Yeah.
So if I follow on that path too, I will not make it.
Yeah.
So it's a friends that you keep. You must be wise in picking your
friends.
Your friends, because the friends that you keep, they play a big role in what you do, your future, because you tend to listen to them. And I was encouraging them, try to have time that you alone and look at your friends, because some of friends, they will be good, they were very encouraging, they are parents. But some of the friends, they will always look to the other side and can lead a lot of people into trouble.
Yeah.
And a lot of people, they will not achieve in their school or in tertiary or even in life because of the pressure from friends.
Yeah.
So it's very,
at the end of the day, friends are always there. It's you. I'll come back for you. Because friends can come and go. Friends are there. And they're there today, gone tomorrow. Change today. This year you have a different set of people around you. Yes, your friends. Next year, you change your friends. So friends, people around you are always there. It's you that makes the decision at the end of the day. So make sure you make the right decision. And also, don't just rely on your academics. Like if you say, okay, I'm weak in this, I'm weak in that. Don't just rely on it. Check out the strength that you have. What other things you have. Natapatali sona ka iko kila iko kina, iko dongito rakabi. Ngumato sar mo reda iko kila sar mo buri ni bula. O si kongito basketball, si kongito volleyball. Natama ka na gito kongito ta. Bate malmulo mo na makani iko koko na esana kandua. So nakanga iko kila iko koko kina that are your strength. Take that with you. And if you're a Christian or if you believe in God like we do, then you pray about it because God is going to guide you and lead you from there. So it's not just the academics. Like if you face out or if you're not in one of those, level that children achieve those marks, then don't look down on yourself or feel so inferior because they have it and you don't have it. Every child have got different calling, talents, special that God has created us. No one child can say that you don't have anything. You have something there. There's something that you have that God has specifically just given it to you for you to work on. So don't compare yourself to any other person. You know, when you compare yourself to your friends or compare yourself to achievers or compare yourself to people around you, you will not be proud of yourself. Like you always have an inferior complex. As soon as you have these people around, it's like, okay, they are there, I'm not there. You'll always think that you're lower than them. No, don't ever have that kind of feeling. You are special in your own way. Believe in what you have. Whatever strength that you have, you pick on it. I'm going to share, like my grandchildren, like what I say, I share a lot about their lives because realistically, they're there with me. And I know you can relate to it. With my 3 boys, the brothers, and I have a Sonny that is younger, he's my son's son. Sonny, he's the type that come and do his own study. Even when we have our devotion, he'll be coming up with different Bible verses. And when he does, some of the Bible verses, like it hits me, and then I will look and I said, okay, who taught you to study that Bible verse? So memorize that. Only myself. I just look through the Bible and I highlight it, and I say, oh, this one is good. So that's Sonny. Because I understand all, and he's in year 5.
Year 5.
So when I look at my grandchildren, I will know their strength, I know their weakness. I'm sharing this is from the parents' perspective or standpoint, and also for the grandparents like me. I try and understand your children, understand your grandchildren, that they differ, they are not the same. I will know Joshua's strength, I will know Nathaniel's strength, I will know Israel's strength, I know Carlos, I know Junior, I know Sunny, I know the 2 girls, I know Kayla. These are all my grandchildren and their friends. I will know their strengths. So when I'm talking to them, or when I'm guiding them, or counseling them, or even if, like, put their academics aside, I will know the strength of a person that if I send 10 times, that child will not give me a bad look to say, okay, what's happening? It's like 10 times I've been going to get things for you. I will know the one who will give me the kind of look. I will know the one who will continuously just do it without complaint. And I will know the one, before you ask, they're looking at it and saying, yeah, they want something. And I'll know the one when they know you want to ask something and they're hiding their face. So, like those things, you should be able as parents or grandparents to know your children or know your grandchildren, know their strength, know their weakness. So whatever that they have, and you speak to them individually. I will not come. I did it for my children, and I'm doing it for my grandchildren now. Never a time I will say, why can't you be smart like her? Or why can't you do things the way that she does? I will never compare my children. And I don't compare my grandchildren as well. So, because they have their different strengths and they have their different weaknesses. And a few of them, like one of them, doesn't study. And if I have to send him to study, and then I see everybody study, and I'm coming and I say, what are you doing? Are you studying? And then he will look at me and I say, Nana, I don't know how to study. I said, what do you mean you don't know how to study? I'm looking at him and I don't know how to study. I said, how have you been getting your marks? And this is the one, like they comes with the results of 80s, or sometimes 90s. I said, then how have you been studying with these marks? I don't study, I just listen well in school, and I don't know how to study. Okay, now you go through your old papers and learn from there and try to study. So you have one like that, and you have one that religiously waking up early in the morning, staying up late in the night to study, but still have the good results. So, and the only time I will compare is when they sit and I will tell them, look, for this one, you have to wake up early in the morning, sleep late in the night for you to be able to get the result. And for you, you don't even have to flip your books to study, but you get that. Okay, what I want to talk to you about, you are gifted because God has given you that gift that you don't work hard or push yourself to be able to achieve that. And this one, average, works so hard to get what they get. Okay, if that's the case, I would like you to be grateful, because if God has given that to you, it's like those talents. Don't just go and throw it. And know fully well, whatever that you easily get in here, somebody has to study more and harder and smarter to be able to achieve it. And when you know that, you will be grateful. And you will say to God, I am grateful. Which means you're not supposed to be sitting on their category of marks. It's supposed to be even higher than that. So those are the talks that I do for them to realize their strength and also appreciate the things that they have and know and understand the weaknesses around them. And also, I have one, academically, I spend a lot of money on his tutorial, and every time, and then one time I call him and I said, okay, I've seen this and that, I've seen you've come a long way, but I see your gift is on, and he's very artistic. He will draw, he draws. And if I come in and see his sketchbook, it's either, whatever that he draws, it looks so real, and then I'm looking and I said, who did this? I said, I did. Who drew this? I said, I did. Freehand, very good. And I said, look, that's your strength. So now when I travel, I will try and get him sketchbooks, I try and get him the right pens, for art. And I'm looking for that extra class in Fiji that I can send him to, because I've realized that his strength, he's not a rugby player, he's not a sporty person, and he's got a totally different strength altogether. And I'm guiding him and I'm telling him, okay, if this is your strength, I will need you to push yourself academically to reach this level, but this is your strength that I will help you with. And I would like to, recommend for parents and grandparents, don't just look at the mark and then we, blowing off the roof or shooting, things at them, but try and understand them on how they do things and understand their strength. Because when you understand their strength, now, when I understand, I know all my grandchildren, if I see their marks, I don't growl at them and I said, okay, because I know if they give me that marks and I know their capability, I am grateful for that. And because I know their strength is in other, other things that they do. So when you do that, now I'm on the last year with Joshua and his friends, with Carlos and Shirley, they're on year 13. And every time we're having a devotion, that gratitude kept on coming. Joshua will be saying, I'm trying to maximize everything in this school because it's the last year. Yeah. And today I walk around the school and I'm telling myself, why this school, I've been here for the last 5 years. All those gratitude. And the other day, because we were coming back from work and Junior drove the bicycle all the way from Olodala. He went out somewhere. So when we were having a devotion, when he said his gratitude, he said, today I took the bicycle, I went to my primary school, I stood in my primary school ground and I looked around and I said to myself, I was here from year 1 to year 8. And, he went on to boarding school. And, as they were reflecting over the years of his schooling, because they are on to their last year, it either make you so grateful that you have come this far and also give you a boost for the last lap to tell you, okay, I didn't really do as much as I had wanted. Then with these remaining months, I'm going to bury my head into my books and make sure when I leave, I've said it. I've done it.
Yeah, it's always good to go back and remember or revisit what you've been through. Yeah. Because it will push you to another level in your future.
Yes.
Yeah. Sometimes we forget where we came from. In a way, it's good, but in a way, it's a measurement that you can go to another level.
Yeah.
Yeah.